Good morning, friends. This is series of lecture for TYBSc Analytical Chemistry student, semester 5, 2019 pattern. And the chapter we are going to deal with gravimetry. In already previous lecture, we have already learned about some definitions associated with the gravimetry. In part first and part second, this is similar here. We are going to deal with definitions involving in gravimetry, and this is a part 3 of the chapter. Now the first definition of this chapter or part 3 is filtration. Filtration is nothing but the process of separation of precipitate from the mother liquor using some porous medium is called as a filtration. So generally in gravimetry, we get the precipitate in desired form, and that precipitate that should be washed with the help of some process, and that process is nothing but the filtration. And for this process we use some porous medium. The process of separation of precipitate from the mother liquor using some porous medium is called as a filtration. So filter paper should be there, funnel should be there, and threefold symmetry of the filter paper that can be achieved, and with the help of funnel, the process and tripod stand, with the help of tripod stand, funnel and filter paper, filtration assembly is prepared, should be prepared, so that we collect liquid, and that liquid in the beaker is called as a filtrate. That is a filtrate. So that is all about the point associated with the filtration. Now the next one is drying. The second definition is drying. When the temperature used for heating purpose, which is below 250 degrees centigrade, then such operation is called as a drying. So drying is nothing but the one type of heating operation. But here desired temperature that can be employed is below 250 degrees centigrade. So that metal, or can say any type of precipitate in the form of any composition, that should be achieved in a constant composition form, and so that drying and ignition, these are operations has to be performed on the precipitate. When the temperature used for heating purpose is below 250 degrees centigrade, then such operation is called as a drying. The third definition is ignition. When the temperature used for heating purpose is higher than the 250 degrees centigrade and below than the 1200 degrees centigrade, then such operation is called as a ignition. So in that ignition temperature, above 250 degrees centigrade and below 1200 degrees centigrade, heating is provided to the precipitate with the help of furnace, and such a procedure is called as a ignition. So this is the difference between the drying and ignition. In the drying process, the temperature is below 250 degrees centigrade, while in the ignition process, the temperature is above 250 degrees centigrade and below 1200 degrees centigrade. Next one is incineration. Now incineration is nothing but it is a process of combustion. It is a process of combustion. It is a process of combustion of filter paper with or without presence of precipitate. Now with or without presence of precipitate, the combustion process is called as a incineration. So these are the four basic definitions involving in gravimetry, and this is the part 3 of the chapter. So we have covered all definitions in gravimetry chapter. So filtration, drying, ignition, incineration, post precipitation, precipitation, co-precipitation, precipitation from homogeneous reaction, analyte, solubility product, sparingly soluble substance. So these are all part of definitions involving in gravimetry. So with this content I conclude this lecture. Thank you very much for your patience listening.